Today, we have the pleasure of welcoming Nora Szanto, high performance specialist, author, and the CEO of the Harry Group to our virtual summit. As a high performance specialist for business leaders and professional athletes, Nora has helped hundreds of clients overcome subconscious blocks and limiting beliefs to reach their full potential. Nora has a master's degree in psychology, is a certified EFT and matrix reimprinting and a psyche practitioner. Based on her research, she wrote a fantastic fictional adventure book for middle graders called The Celestina Code that I had the chance to read as well, and that inspired me. With her wealth of experience and knowledge in the field of human behaviors, it is a pleasure to welcome you to the next edition of our Change Matters Virtual Summit.
Thank you very much. What a lovely introduction.
Knowing your background from the world of sports and business as a psychologist and as a guide for many leaders in both fields, I've got a couple of questions to explore with you. Questions that my readers were posing to me, and I felt a very strong subject matter expert like you could really respond to. So allow me to start with the first one. When it comes to resisting change, a lot of people ask me, what are the main reasons why people resist change? What would you say to them?
This is such a good question, because obviously now we live in a world where there's like so much change going on. What you have to know is that humans are hardwired to resist change, because change meant, especially thousands and thousands years ago, uncertainty, and uncertainty could ultimately lead to death, right? So imagine when we were still living in the cave and then something like a danger came. There were lots of things that were out of our control. And the way like physiologically it is manifesting is that we start to release stress hormones the moment change is happening. And we get into a flight or fight mode. We really cannot we cannot show up at our best, and we are really trying to avoid it as much as possible. But if you think about it, what is interesting is that in today's day and age, there is no such imminent danger. But that's what I mean when I say that it's so hardwired in our brains that we just cannot get over it that easily. But this is kind of the scientific explanation behind it.
You used to be a basketball player. Until today, you support people to grow to excellence in the field. What can corporate leaders learn from the world of sports?
You might be surprised with my answer, but actually I do not see such a big difference between professional athletes and high-performing business leaders. Mm-hmm. They are very, very similar. And this was part of my psychology research, actually. What makes extremely successful leaders different from the average population? There, I was more focusing on the business environment, but it got validated by the work that I am doing in the field of sports. So would you like me to share my key findings?
Yes, please.
Okay. So the first and foremost quality that they all have is they have a growth mindset. And having a growth mindset means that they believe that everything can change. Our intellect, our talent, our skills, nothing is set in stone, but they can change it. All people I spoke with have another thing in common, which is they all experienced adversity earlier in life. And as you know, I'm a trauma specialist, and I know that every single one of us, whether you are a super successful person or you consider yourself someone who is unsuccessful, we all experience traumas in our life. Some of them in psychology we call small t traumas, which could be like a teacher yelled at you at school, or you had a terrible coach who humiliated you. But then we have the big T traumas, which would be an accident, death in the family, abuse. So those are much, much bigger. But so we all have it. But what I found is that successful people look at all the trauma and adversity as an opportunity to learn, and never an obstacle. And because of that, they also build a resilience. They never ever give up. And this I particularly see with athletes, that they just go and they always do the extra mile. The pros, they really have the mindset that if you are asked to do 100 repetition, then I mean, at least they do 120, if not more. And it's linked to the effort. People with a fixed mindset would look at effort as a sign of weakness. Ooh, if I have to make the effort, it means I'm not talented enough. And then, oh, this is not good. What if they discover about it that I have to actually work hard? But people with a growth mindset, they know that effort is everything, and practice, and it will ultimately lead to the desired result. Or if you don't achieve your ultimate goal, you will still develop as a person or as an athlete. They are not afraid of taking risks because they know that in order to grow, they have to leave their comfort zone. Again, this is something that you see with athletes over and over again, that they have a split second to make the decision, and very often they make the riskier one and they go for it. And yes, some cases they will fail, but they will learn from it, and then they will achieve extraordinary results. So one thing is having a growth mindset. The second is having self-awareness. This is extremely important, to know exactly your strengths and your weaknesses, and also be open for feedback. The most successful people in the world are very coachable. And the reason being is that they want to know how they can grow, not that they believe that, oh, I already know absolutely everything. For an athlete, it's a given that they are working with coaches. In the world of business, is still much less common. So I still see that they're like, oh, I don't need it. And this self-awareness is also linked to emotional intelligence, because that's the very first pillar of emotional intelligence, to be aware of yourself, be aware of your emotions, and then you are able to control the situation much more. And the last point is they understand the role of the team. It's whether you're an individual athlete, whether you're a team player, you're always surrounded by a team, right? I work with a professional golfer who is, of course, on his own out on the golf course, but he has the caddy, he has the physiotherapist, he has the coach, he has this and that. And obviously the same with my basketball or football players, where you have the technical stuff around you, but of course you have your teammates as well. And this is something that I also saw with business leaders, that so many of them said that without having the right team around me, I would never be able to achieve what I did because of all their support. That all these successful people are so humble. It's really, I was very, very surprised about that. It doesn't mean that they don't like to be stars, especially the athletes, right? They just want to show up and they love being in the center of attention. But deep inside, they are very humble people who understand the importance of everything that I mentioned before, working hard, and the role of the teammates, the role of the coaches, so and have the support system. So these were my key findings.
I believe what you just said, based on your research and your experiences, also reflect the key recommendations that you would give to corporate leaders learning from the world of sports. You said it's important that we demonstrate growth mindset, dare to take risk and see our mistakes as a learning opportunity, that we strengthen our self-awareness and emotional intelligence. We have some, but we need to work on it. And the third one, you said, understand that there is an ecosystem. You have a team, you are part of an ecosystem, and be humble to recognize how they make your success possible. Thank you so much, Nora, for your insights and for your wisdom. It was really a pleasure to talk with you, and I look forward to continuing our discussions.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for the opportunity.